Welcome back to Von Blues Boxing, man. What's going on with everybody? So, I wanted to give my predictions and thoughts for the Canelo Alvarez versus, I believe, Avni Yildirim fight. The different, my bad, and some of the, fights on the card. I want to give my predictions for that. So I'm going to start off with just some of the fights, the more notable fights. We got the return of Diego Pacheco versus Rodolfo Gomez Jr. Or I think his opponent got scratched, so he got some opponent coming up. Diego Pacheco's nice young super middleweight. He's fighting this fight at super middleweight. I know he's fought at middleweight too, but this fight is gonna be at super middleweight. He's 6'4", really tall, really long kid at 168 pounds. He's only 19, so he's really young, talented. He has a bright future. If things keep going right, they're moving him the right way. So yeah. So I expect Diego Pacheco just to stay busy. I expect him to get this win. I expect a 4th round TKO. I expect him to get this guy out of there early and just stay active, keep going, and keep building his name up. Big kid, man. He's huge, huge, huge kid. 6'4". That's tall for his weight class. Then we got Zhang Zhili versus Jerry Forrest. So Zhang Zhili is a silver bronze medalist. He's a silver medalist in the 2008 Olympic Games. He won a silver medalist. So he's 37. He's an older heavyweight. He's been around for a while. He started really late, as you see, because he was a silver medalist in 2008. Deontay Wilder was a bronze medalist in 2008. So Zhang Zhili, he's from China, not really the most known guy, but pretty good heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting Jerry Forrest. Jerry Forrest, Jerry Forrest has been around for a while. He's been a guy that's, early in guys' careers, they would be a test. He's fought Michael Hunter. He's lost to Gerald Washington. Lost to Carlos Takam. That was his last fight. He lost to Carlos Takam, and he lost to Michael Hunter and Gerald Washington. So, the 3 biggest fights of his career, he's came up short and things of that nature. I expect Zhang Zhili to get the win. I expect him to get a unanimous decision. I don't know about a knockout, but I expect him to get this win. And then after this, I don't know. At 37, man, Zhang got to get busy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I expect a unanimous decision win. And then in the co-main event, we got the return of Julio Cesar Martinez versus Mick Williams Arroyo. So you know about Mick Williams Arroyo. He's been around for a while. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rican, pretty good Puerto Rican amateur. Been around. He's challenged for, I believe, 3 different titles, but three times, but he came up short. He lost to Kazuto Ioka, Ioka, he lost the unanimous decision. He lost to Chocolatito Roman Gonzalez, lost the unanimous decision, and then he lost to Amnat Rongrang, split decision. Very, very close fight. I think I gave that fight to Mick Williams, but yeah, he lost to them. And he beat Carlos Cuadras, the man who just came off the fight with Juan Francisco Estrada, and Estrada stopped him in the 11th round, but Estrada that was a tough fight for Estrada, man. That fight was close until he stopped him. So, yeah, so that's, so he's a known fighter. He's been around a long time. Here's his 4th time challenging for a title. So hopefully he can pull it off this time. But he's fighting the young Julio Cesar Martinez. He's a WBC flyweight champion. This is his 3rd title defense. He's a hard puncher, good boxer, man. I think Julio Cesar Martinez, this will be competitive early on, but I expect Julio Cesar Martinez to get the 6th round KO. I expect Julio Cesar to stop him, fairly early in the mid to 6th rounds. I can see Julio putting the pressure on him and kind of just getting to him earlier on and getting it to him. So I see a 6th round KO. That's why I'm going with Julio Cesar Martinez. He'll get a 6th KO, and then I think this will be his 3rd or 4th title defense. So yeah, and then the young man, hopefully he can get a bigger name, bigger fight, or maybe a unification bout. Then we got in the main event, we got Canelo Alvarez versus Yildirim. So Canelo is the WBC, WBA super middleweight champion. We all know about Canelo, pound for pound on my list, #1 fighter in the world. And we all know about Canelo. Great fighter, excellent fighter. Here he is trying to become undisputed. That's his goal, it seems like. Yildirim is a good fighter, man. Yildirim's been around. He's had his, he came up short against Darrell. He's had, he lost to Chris Eubanks. And so, yeah, he's been around for a while. He's the type of fighter that, he's that guy that he's a good fighter. Can he get past, great fighters? And that's the thing, are, elite fighters. And that's the thing about Yildirim. Here's his big opportunity to try to pull off, I mean, one of the, probably, if he pulls this off, this would be the biggest upset in boxing history, possibly, or close up to it. It would definitely be in the top 5 biggest upsets of boxing history. So in order for Yildirim, I mean, this is a big fight for Yildirim, man. This is an opportunity. And for Canelo, this is him to get that WBC mandatory out the way, so Canelo don't have to, deal with the WBC mandatory fight. He just gets it out of the way if he gets Yildirim. And if he gets Yildirim out the way, then he can move on to his WBO, go on and try to unify that 3rd title against Billy Joe Saunders in May for the WBO super middleweight junior title. Super middleweight title, and then Canelo's WBC and WBA, and then after that it would just be Caleb Plant for the IBF title. Canelo, if he gets this win, he can go over there to the PBC, sign like a 2-fight deal, fight Caleb Plant, or maybe in the second fight, maybe David Benavidez or Jamal Charlo. So, Canelo's got some options. He just got to get through Yildirim and get it done. So, basically, I'm going to go with my prediction. I'm going with a 7-round KO from Canelo Alvarez. I think earlier on, Canelo will, first couple of rounds, Canelo's going to take his time. He's going to pick his shots. He's going to be more of the active fighter, but I think Canelo's going to look for counters. He's going to look for big counter opportunities. You might see Canelo a little more aggressive in this fight. You're going to see him on the front foot a little bit more and pushing the pace more, because Canelo want to get this guy out of there early, because he's got another fight coming up in May. You know what I'm saying? So he's got a fight coming up in May. So he want to get in and get out. So I expect Canelo to earlier on put pressure on Yildirim. I could see Yildirim maybe landing some shots, maybe having a couple of moments, but Canelo is just Canelo. And then, Yildirim's probably, Yildirim's going to come to fight. He's not coming here for a paycheck. He coming to fight. But I just expect Canelo to be able to break him down those first 6 rounds and then get him out of there in the 7th round. Anywhere from the 7th to 9th round. But I'm going with the 7th round, but I'm saying anywhere from the 7th to 9th. So yeah, and I just wanted to get my predictions and thoughts for that card, man. Y'all be good, y'all be safe, man. Von Blues Boxing. I'm out.